Hey, how's it going, fellow INFJ folk? This is Comanche INFJ, and so I want something to talk about. Or I want to talk about something, um, which is kind of an issue around, what do you call therapy. Uh, Me and my wife have been talking a little bit about therapy, but then, like, the methods of therapy when they go to the childhood traumas or the underlying traumas that is the cause of certain things. And I know there's this video, or is this TikTok that I was watching, and I'll let you listen to it.
So you know you've had childhood trauma, but the problem is you don't remember any of it. It frightens you because as much as you want to heal, you don't want to have to remember what was brutally petrifying for you as a child. Remember that our brains are powerful machines, and by protecting us through psychogenic amnesia, we have been able to function as adults. But if you're ready to potentially start remembering, you can try this. Keep a journal and write a timeline from when you were your youngest all the way up to your age now. And as your senses are triggered, whether it was through sight, sound, touch, taste, write them down. As you start documenting these little tiny glimpses of memories, more will slowly start to pop into your mind. Writing them down is cathartic because they're no longer within you to haunt you. You now have something to refer to. At any point.
Alright, so I don't know if this has to do with a male thing, majoritarily, or an INFJ thing. And I kind of think it's an INFJ thing. You know how we hold grudges, right? And so that's what I feel like it is for me. Like, I understand the brain compartmentalizing and storing that away. Yeah, because I went through traumatizing stuff as an adult, and my brain just like, whoo, like made you not there, where you disassociated. And I remember being younger and disassociating as well. But to go into your childhood years and remembering stuff. And like, now I may not remember being 1, 2 years old, maybe close to 3 even. But I do remember 4, 5, 6 traumatizing stuff at those ages. Like, I remember them vividly. Like I remember us moving from the city up to the reservation. I don't remember that move, but I knew that we're new to the reservation. I remember being 3 or 4 years old. My mom went to a community dance, and it was nighttime, and they had all the lights and stuff. And she sat me on a bleacher, and she was like, "All right, sit down here. All right, just wait there." And I was totally cool about it. Like, yeah. I sat back and I was chilling. But it wasn't that long until I felt arms from behind the bleachers like pull me back. Then these older kids came out in front of me, and they start saying something to me, and they start punching me up in the face and kicking me in the side. And nobody did anything, as far as I know. Nobody did anything because it was dark, and the music lights, the dance lights was going on. But anyway, so they beat me up for a good 30 seconds, I'd say. Then they just left. Then I just sat there in pain. My mom came up to me and she's like, "What happened?" And I told her. So then we left the dance. That was one of my first traumatizing things. But then I also remember staying at the house where we stayed at. We ended up staying at a family member's house because my mom escaped my abusive dad. That's why we're staying wherever we're staying. But then I remember the older relatives were always attacking me. Like, they're saying mean and disgusting things to me all the time, talking crap, and They'd hit me and pinch me and push me and knock me down. All this type of stuff. And I was like 4 years old. I remember it. And so it's crazy because they try and call out and say, oh, he used to make up crying to get us in trouble. But in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah. I saw these as opportunities because they wouldn't listen to me when I tell them, you guys were doing this and that to me, right? So then I would have to be dramatic because they're so mean to me. And these kids and my relatives were 5 years old, 7 and 8 years old, older than me. So I'm like 4 and 5, and they're like 9, 10, 11, and 12, right? So they're a lot bigger, picking on me, making me cry. So I remember those, and I kind of hold that little grudge towards them. But then I even remember our first time going to Head Start. I remember my mom walked me up. I didn't really know. She was kind of like playing it off like, all right, you're going to go to school, you're going to see other kids and get to know other kids. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And she goes and takes me. It was like this little, it was like a little bus, yeah. And she helped me out. She's like, I'll just go in there and sit down. And I didn't know she wasn't coming with me. Then the door closed and I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Then it started to move and I'm like, no, I wanted to get out, and they like tell me to sit down, and she's still standing out there, and I go run into the back and I go smash my face against the back of the bus, and I'm like, no, Mom, and I'm busy crying, like, don't leave me, you know. It was pretty traumatic, I guess you could say. Like, I didn't know what the heck was happening. I remember days in Head Start. But then also, I remember like my first like real traumatizing thing. I think I was 5 years old, where I was busy playing in the rec center at the local church. My mom and her sisters became Christian, which is pretty good because it got them out of alcoholism. No, I think, I was 6. But I remember running around and they're in Bible study. But the pastor and like his like little sidekick, they came in there and they're like, hey, Comanche, like, stop running around. And I was a little bitty guy looking up at him. And like, you better stop running around. I was like, oh, okay. And then the pastor was like looking down at me. He was like, you better stop running around, otherwise I'm gonna fuck you. You know what I mean? He said the F word. He's gonna do the F word to me. And I'm like, well, I live on a reservation. Like, all of this talk was very common between kids my age and younger. Like, everyone talked that way. So I knew what he meant. Then I looked at his sidekick, like, for help. Like, what? And the sidekick was just like right next to him. He's like, yeah, better stop running around, otherwise that's gonna happen. Like, then they're like, you gonna stop? I'm like, yeah. So I stopped. I just went and sat down, and I was like, whoa. And I didn't want to go to church anymore. Still had to go until I was like 10. But I didn't like church anymore. Could be a reason why I quit. Never gave into it again. Never liked it, you know. But I'm just saying, like, people say you got all these traumatized things and you forget them. But I think me as an INFJ and as a male, I never forgot them. I hold them grudges. I remember them vividly. It's like, this is what happens, this is what it looks like, this is how it felt. All of these details. That could be too because I'm a Virgo. I don't know. But reason why I'm bringing it up is to be like, do y'all feel that way? Are you like that? This is an INFJ thing. Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate y'all for listening and understanding, and yeah, allowing me to share with you. Right. And there's more, a lot more things that have went on. Oh yeah. One more thing. So there's this legend about little green people, right? You ever hear about that? And this was like a reservation story, and they said where these little green people were. And I was in Head Start, so I had to have been like 5 years old again. Anyway, there's this old elementary school, and one of my relatives worked in there, and my mom went into the school to go see her and go talk to her. And it was like crazy down a long hall, but down this long hall to get through all these offices was a door for each office, cubicle type of place. Anyway, when you come into the main door to the school, there's this opening that goes around, but then like almost like kitty corner, there's an opening to the gym. Anyway, so I was gonna go into the gym, and I seen a basketball, so I was gonna go grab that basketball and just try and shoot. I'm a little bitty kid. Nobody was in the school. But then, as I seen it, I saw a little bitty tiny green man. Looked almost like a minion. A little bit taller, a little bit thinner, but it was like that. And it just like ran across like that. Then it ran into those heaters that were lined up against the wall. He ran into that, or I don't even know if it's a he, but it ran into that. And I was like, I couldn't see it no more. And I'm like, wow. So what I did, I took off running through all these doors to get to my relative's office and see my mom and her. And I was like, oh no, I'm so scared. And they're like, I told you to wait out there. And I'm like, no, I saw a green little man. And they're like, played me off. But again, that's just like, so I honestly believe that little green men were real. So I've seen them. And then you actually like hear them at places. And then in the section where they were. But then they turned on at school, I think that next year. Yeah. Built a new one. Probably because of all of that. Anyway, yeah. Those are my childhood stories. Like vivid memories. Being at a very young age, where a lot of people say they don't have these memories, or they forgot about them, or whatever it may be. So, I'm like 43 years old. That's almost like 40 years ago. You know, some old memories. Alright. But again, thank you for listening. Comanche and INFJ. Live long and prosper. Thank you for listening. Again, leave comments down below. All of that. Let me know if you what you think this is. Alright. Have a good day.